Subscribe, please.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and Wave 2 for Xwing 2.0 has arrived, and I have some of it here for you guys to see. And it's just going to have to be some, because when it comes to Xwing 2.0, they are going with so many factions now that you really can't collect all the factions. You're really going to have to pick 1, 2, maybe 3 factions and go with that, because anything else is really going to be cost prohibitive. And I gotta say, I do like how they changed things around, that needed upgrade cards aren't in just specific ships. Like back in the day, you could only get auto thrusters and star vipers and something else. So people would have to buy ships they might not necessarily actually want to own simply to get the card. And then you had things like Emperor Palpatine that they put in, what was that thing, the Raider, that nobody bought, nobody ever flew. I don't think I've ever seen an Epic game, actually. But that was a $100 ship that you needed to buy if you wanted to be competitive at one point. So that, I do have to say, I like how they've got away from that. And if you want to buy just one faction, you can buy just one faction, fly just that faction, and there's nothing else that you have to buy from any other faction to have all the upgrade cards that you need. So that is a nice switch. Things are more expensive now. Like this is, you know, an MSRP of 20. I mean, the packaging is better, but they kind of bumped up the prices when they switched that, and I don't know specifically why they did it. Maybe they figured we're going to have to bump up the cost a little bit since they aren't going to have to take and buy everything now. So I don't know, but let's take a look and see what we got going on here. This is the Resistance kit. I am pretty much sticking with Rebel, Resistance, Scum. I know I said, you know, like 2 or 3, but I'm also planning on getting into those new factions, the Galactic Republic and the droid one. I forget the name at the top of my head. But I'm kind of thinking I'm just going to go with Galactic Republic, and I'll just have all the good guys and then the neutral faction, you know, Scum, and just kind of avoid the bad guy faction for now. So this is the Resistance conversion kit. They finally released these. They are cheaper than the conversion kits that released previously for the 3 main factions. But that's kind of to be expected, because there are not a whole lot of ships that actually come in these. With this, you can see there is only the Bomber, the T-70 Xwing, and then the YT-1300. And then there's 3 to 4 sets for each one, you know, dials, everything else that you need. And one of the things that I kind of hoped that they would include in the Resistance kit that they didn't was the A-Wings. And I know they didn't because they want you to buy the current A-Wings, but I was kind of hoping they might put that in there so I could cheap out a little bit and just use my old A-Wings. Now, the new A-Wings look good. I did forget to pre-order one of those, so I'm going to have to take and try to track one down, but the new A-Wings do look good. So let's take a look and see what kind of upgrade components we have in the Resistance kit. I gotta say, I've been looking over some of it on the website, on the app so far, and I got to say I am excited. That's all that comes in there, as you guys can see. We've got our usual Star Wars Xwing little pamphlet, talks about all the good honky stuff that comes with it. Put it off to the side. We have some tokens, our little pack of little black pieces for our dials, and then we've got some upgrade cards and some pilot cards. So let's look at our tokens real quick and see what all we get in this. This looks like an extra piece. What is this? Why is this separate? Let's see what this says. This bag contains additional components for the T-70 Xwing and MG-100 Star Fortress. I think that's the Bomber, right? Is that the Bomber? These components are not reflected in the component list found in the conversion kit. So it's some stuff they added in on top of it. Some extra pilots, ship cards, and ship tokens. Okay, I'm all about them adding extra, because it does not seem to be a normal trend for them. The little tokens are falling apart. Let's try to get the cards out here. I'm going to turn them up. And the big bases are falling apart on this. Oh, I've got so much organizing I have to do now. Let's see. Yeah, these are for our big Resistance Bomber. And I think, good God, what a dumb ship. Hey, we're going to fly very slowly through space, and we're going to let you shoot at us and blow us all up. and have one TIE fighter take out like 3 of us before we get to the ship and then drop hundreds of bombs. Just, I mean, for all the space sorcerer warfare stuff they have going on, and they have those things. We have some extra T-70 tokens, pilot tokens. Let's see what these pilots are that are the extras. We have Eden Kepper. After you fully execute a blue or white maneuver, if you have not dropped or launched a device this round, you may drop 1 device. When you defend... Now, this is something interesting. The bomber now actually has a double arc. So it can fire out of the front at 3 or, you know, out of the sides, or I'm assuming back, at 2. So that's actually a neat thing. It can put out more firepower to the front, but it can fire around itself. And just some T-70s. I've seen that one. This is not one of the ones I was excited about. Yeah, pilot skill 2. And then, what is this? Just a Black Squadron Ace. Interesting. Just a extra generic T-70 card. I do like how they have the resistance. They've got them with a orange color. So like the Rebels are red. Scum is what, yellowish green. Empire's green. And then these guys are orange. And then I forget what color the First Order is. All right, let's pop our knife here. Get a look at some of these. Pop the shrink. Always got to have a good knife on you. Live here in the South, you can't survive without a good knife. You never know when you might have to cut a package open or stab an invading Ewok that's coming in on you. Okay, here we go. We've got some Han Solo, Chewbacca, large templates, and it looks like there's only large and small templates, tokens in here. I am not seeing any mediums for the Resistance faction, so I would expect to see a medium base ship for Resistance here. So look at this, Jessica Pava. I like her. She has an ability that's real neat that operates off of a charge that recharges each turn. I can't remember. It allows her, I think it allows her to re-roll a dice with however many people are around her. She can spend charges to do that. Let's see, more T-70s, more bombers. So yeah, it's pretty much exactly what it said. It's the Millennium Falcon, the bombers, and T-70s. Now they did include some extra charge, force, and shield tokens, but at this point I'm using Curl Paul Creatives, which is freaking awesome. And now, and like, as soon as I ordered the Curl Paul set, they put out these large ass, you know, massive tokens that they're all using on the streams now, and now I want those damn things. So I'm gonna have to look into getting that at some point. Ooh, I like these dials. Those dials actually look pretty neat. I gotta say, that's good stuff. And then we have our condition tokens. I think that one probably goes with the rattled condition, which I'm not sure what that is yet, but we will find out. And we've got some more bits for our maneuver dials and our double arcs. Which one of these are for? This has got to be for the bomber, which means that thing is not maneuver. Good God, 3 bank is red. 3 bank is red. I mean, they can do a 1 hard. That's cool, but man, those things are not maneuver. They're the worst maneuver of everyone. Anything but a 3 straight. You know, good God, 3 banks red, 0 red, 1 hard's red. Ooh, those things are just bad. Oh, I'm gonna have to go with the Millennium Falcon. See how maneuverable that's gonna be. That's gotta be that one, the YT. We've got our 3 sloop. 4 is now red. That's interesting. 2 hard, 3 hard. Okay, it does have a 3 hard, so that's good. So it is fairly maneuverable, but the 4 red being, or a 4 straight being red, that's kind of interesting. I don't believe it was like that before. And then, of course, we got our T-70s here at the top. Talon rolls, K-turn, like you would expect. No 1 hard, but you wouldn't expect it. They do have the 2 hard, though, and they got the 3 hard. So fairly maneuverable ships when you add in the fact that they can now do some barrel rolling and boosting and all that other good stuff. So we're not going to look through all these cards, but we're going to take a quick look. I wanted to show you guys some of the neat upgrade cards that they do have that are resistance specific. See if I can find some of them. They got one here right on the top, BB-8, of course. Before you execute a blue maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to perform a barrel roll or boost action. I would rather see this be a 1 charge repeating than just a 2 charge max. I didn't use them a whole lot before, but I know a lot of people did. And I think this card will get, I mean, it's going to get some play at 2 charges, but maybe even have it just at 3 charges and, you know, not recharging, or 1 charge repeating. I would rather see that because it's not a tremendously overpowered thing. Well, I don't know. I guess it kind of is in a way, because if you think about it, it's similar to Supernatural Reflexes, and that's going for 14 points, and I think BB-8's like 8, so something like that. And this is also resistance. Before you execute a blue maneuver, you may spend 1 charge to perform a barrel roll. All right, so it's like BB-8, with the exception of it's not a boost, it's just a barrel roll, so that's neat. A few of those. M9G8 coming back, and I loved this card. I used this thing a lot back in the day. When a ship you are locking performs an attack, you may choose 1 attack die, and if you do, the attacker re-rolls that die. And the thing is you can lock friendly ships to do that. Now, I think there is an upgrade card out there that allows you to lock friendly ships. So I'm going to have to look it up in 2.0 if you're allowed to just freely lock friendly ships, or if you're going to have an upgrade to do so. But it's still a neat upgrade to have, because it's kind of like a poor man's Predator in reverse, to make your opponent re-roll that crit that he got or something like that effect, you know. This is also, it looks like they put all the resistance one on top. While you defend, you may spend your lock on the attacker to re-roll any number of your defense dice. That's interesting. Alright, this is stuff that we've had. All our astromechs, old ones that we've had. Illicits. Some more illicits, inertial dampers, cargo chute, all this other stuff. Come on, let's see if we can find some more that are resistance only. And I am sorry that you guys are going to have to take and go elsewhere for your first order, but it just is what it is. Of course, we got the black 1 upgrade, which has been changed. After you perform a slam action, lose 1 charge, then you may gain 1 ion token to remove 1 disarm token. If your charge isn't active, you cannot perform the slam action. So this only gives you a 1-off slam. I think it was more than that previously. Now, I know you get, this is rather cheap at 2 points, so it seems like it's just a 1-off there for you. I would like to see some way to kind of, maybe an upgrade card that allows you to reload special abilities or something. If you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can execute red signors loop maneuvers and perform boost and rotate turn actions even while stressed. Raise Millennium Falcon. It's similar to the upgrade that she had previously, so not that big of a deal. And these, of course, we have S-foils for our T70s. What's the other side of these? Of course, they're on the other side. Closed gives you the barrel roll or focus barrel roll linked action. And while you perform the primary attack, if the defender is not in your bullseye arc, roll 1 fewer attack die. So this is neat. If you can keep him in your bullseye arc, you can be much more maneuverable and still fire with your full attack. So that's a nice upgrade there. Let's see if we can find any more resistance only. I don't think there's too many more. There is some force ones that I wanted to show you guys. Let me pop the next pack real quick and show you guys some of that. I think this is another new one. Oh yeah, this is a tech upgrade. I don't think we had tech upgrades yet. Primed thrusters right here on top. Let's take a look. See what we got. Primed thrusters. While you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can perform barrel roll and boost actions even while stressed. So it's kind of similar to Ray's upgrade, but something that you can put on everything. That's kind of neat. Only comes with 1? Only comes with 1? Seriously? That's kind of messed up. Alright. I'm not going to sweat it too hard, but I don't know why it's only coming with 1. Alright, most of this looks like stuff that we've already seen. A whole bunch of munition cards. that we've already seen. Proton rockets and light. C-3PO with the little red arm. And this is kind of interesting. I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to use this guy. Putting him on a bomber would seem to be a good action, maybe. While you coordinate, you can choose friendly ships beyond range 2 if they have a coordinate on their action bar. After you perform the calculate or coordinate action, gain 1 calculate token. So he gives you the ability to double calculate, and he gives you the ability to coordinate, but only ships that are beyond range 2, which is kind of limited, I guess. And it's while you coordinate, you can choose friendly ships beyond range 2 if they have a calculate on their action bar. So you can only coordinate ships that can calculate, and that's it. I'm going to have to check, the FAQ just to see the specifics on this, because the way it's kind of written, I'm just kind of like, okay, why are you making the coordinate action red on top of making it only range 3 and beyond, and then requiring them to have a calculate action on top of it? So you're really kind of limiting it. And I don't think there are a whole lot of resistance ships that have calculate right now, the droid action. So we do have Chewbacca. Lose 1 charge after a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is dealt 1 damage card. Recover 1 charge. While you perform an attack, you may spend 2 charges to change 1 focus result to a crit result. So that's kind of neat. And if a friendly ship, which would include the ship that he's on, takes and suffers damage card specifically can't be your shields, you get 1 of those back. So after 2 times of dealt 1, so after 2 damage cards, I would say. Yeah, 2 damage cards will recover the 2 charges that you need. So neat ability there. Slicers, we've had that. Gonk, we've had that. Han Solo. After you perform a evade action, gain additional evade tokens equal to the number of enemy ships at range 0 to 1. And see, the thing about this is that's only going to be useful for probably Rey, because Rey has an ability to get extra blank dice, in combination with Finn and stuff like that. So this Han Solo will pair very well off of Finn for something like that, to get the extra evade tokens to turn those blank dice into natural evades. Great. But that's going to be a lot of upgrades on that to make that work. I don't see that working with much else that the Resistance has yet. Co-pilot Rose Tico. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 of your results to acquire a lock on the enemy. No. Could you spend a blank result? I guess you could. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 of your results to acquire a lock on the enemy. So if you spend a blank result to get a lock to use next round, that sounds kind of interesting. Navigator, which we've seen. Okay, here's the guy I've been looking for. Finn. And this, just like before, just like the first edition of Xwing, pairs very well off the Rey pilot. While you defend or perform a primary attack, if the enemy ship is in your primary arc, you may add 1 blank result to your roll. This die can be re-rolled or otherwise modified. And you guys can see right there how that's going to pair well off of Han Solo. And then we'll get into Rey's ability here in just a minute. I think that's the majority of and Rey actually has a card now that gains you a force token. While you defend or perform an attack, if the enemy ship is in your arc, your mobile arc, you may spend 1 force point to change 1 of your blank results to an evade or a hit. So that's actually kind of cool, but she is an expensive card. She's like 14 points for that upgrade. All right, we're not going to take and focus too much more on all these pilots, but we're going to look at just a couple of pilots here with the Resistance pack. We're not going to go through all of them because they're all going to be new pilots. I will not hold you guys up. Now, the new Poe, actually, I do not think is as good as the old Poe, because I liked the action efficiency of being able to hold 1 focus token and have it work for your attack and your defense. Now he's more about movement, which I guess is kind of more Poe-like. After you perform an action, you may spend 1 charge to perform a white action, treating it as red. So basically, any of his actions become linked actions, is the way to think about it. So that in and of itself is a powerful ability, especially he's got some barrel rolls in there, and he can boost barrel roll and do all that happy ace stuff. Poe will become a force to be reckoned with on the board. There is no doubt about that. And let's check Jess Pava. That's the one I've got in my list already. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend one charge or one non-recurring charge from your equipped astromech upgrade to re-roll up to one of your dice for each other friendly ship at range 0 to 1. So that is a neat ability. I am looking forward to trying her out and seeing how it works. She worked pretty well before by having people at range 0 to 1 of her. Of course, we've got Han Solo. His is the same as before. You can be placed anywhere during setup beyond range 3 of enemy ships. And then Rey, of course, while you defend or perform an attack, if the enemy ship is in your primary arc, you may spend, now she's got to spend force to do this, one force to change one of your blank results to an evade or a hit result. Now, if she's out of force, you could still have Han doing that for her, and she can fit both Finn and Han. So at that point, this ship becomes just a beast. But I think, if I remember right, she's like 80 points right off the bat. So it is expensive, but you can see you get a lot of shit for that. The only thing that's lacking on this is evade, which is to be expected. But with the ability to change that and add blank result or add blank dice that you can automatically change, she's going to be defensive. You could almost think of it as she could guarantee 2 evades a turn. So the Millennium Falcon is going to be just beastly. I see this coming out a lot in the new Resistance setup. So yeah, that's pretty much all I want to cover on that. There is one of these bombers had something rattled. What does the rattle condition do? After a bomb or mine at range 0 to 1 detonates, suffer 1 crit damage, then remove this card. That is interesting. Okay. I see people trying to use that at some point. All right, let's take a look at our TIE Fighter, which I am definitely going to be using the teetotal hell out of very soon. I've already got a scum list that has a couple of these TIE Fighters, and then I've got Sunny Bounder in it and 2 Star Vipers. Strangely enough, that list has been doing work for me. And this is one of the things I hate about this is I have to rip this box apart to get into the shit now. I didn't have to do that previously. But at least it's just cardboard compared to what it used to be. Alright, come on. Tear open for me. There we go. Bam! Sorry about that. I butcher these boxes. I definitely do not hold on to the boxes I'm doing neat. I gotta say, these little TIE Fighters, these Mining Guild TIE Fighters, you guys can see with the cutouts there on these guys. I freaking love these things. I already got a handful of them to start with. I can't believe I still forgot that A-Wing. God, that's just driving me nuts. Handful of these guys to start with, and they have some neat abilities. Just quickly want to show you guys real quick. Their maneuverability is, I think, the same as other TIE Fighters, with the exception of these guys ignoring asteroids and the like, so that is kind of interesting. But there is their dial there. We're not going to focus on it too much because you've seen a TIE Fighter before. This guy is one I am definitely looking forward to trying out. Before you engage, you may choose one enemy ship in your bullseye at range 1 to 2 and gain 1 disarm token. If you do, that ship gains a tractor token. That effectively turns this TIE Fighter into kind of like one of those, the tugboats, right? Where they're going out there and they're putting tractor beams on everybody and throwing them around. Well, now you can do it with a TIE Fighter that's much more evasive, and he gets to do it at the start of the engagement. Now, well, not the start of the engagement, but before he engages. So that is a neat thing right there. He could still take an action, could still take an evade action, could still take a focus action, stuff like that. So I am so looking forward to trying that. And all of these TIE fighters have that notched stabilizers. While you move, you ignore asteroids. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to look up the FAQ. My thought on this right off the bat is that's not going to apply while shooting. So, like, if you land on top of an asteroid, you're not going to have to roll for damage, but I don't think you're going to be able to fire. You might be able to. I'm not 100% sure. I wish they worded that just a little better. I'm taking it right now while you move. All right, so only during your movement phase are you ignoring asteroids. That's my thought, but I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see how that pans out. But I'll let you guys know later how that pans out if I hear about it in the FAQ. There are a bunch of other TIE fighters. There's one here that I also like. While you defend or perform an attack before the attack dice are rolled, if you are not in the enemy ship's bullseye arc, you may spend 1 charge. He has 1 recurring charge. If you do, the enemy ship gains a jam token. I freaking love that. Makes this guy defensive. I'm definitely putting him in the list. So I've got a list that has these 2 TIE fighters and Sunnybounder and a couple of Star Vipers in it. And I think it's going to do pretty well. And we do not have any new upgrade cards in here. It's all stuff that we've seen before. Static Discharge, Hull Upgrade, Trick Shot, Swarm Tactics, and Elusive. Which, Elusive, for 3 points, does work. I know it seems crazy. It's a 1 charge and only comes back with a red maneuver. But I have used the hell out of Elusive and gotten some seriously sweet results off of it. So I definitely recommend trying it. All right, but that's it. That's a couple of things that I've torn apart that come with the new Wave 2. Definitely check it out. There's a new Xwing out there. There's the First Order. And then a lot of the other First Order ships did also release as well with Wave 2. As far as anything else, Rebels and Empire did not get anything. The only other faction that got something is, like you can see here, the Scum faction with their Mining Guild ties. So just expect to see a lot of Resistance, First Order, and Mining Guild ties on the board for the next few weeks as people try this stuff out and see what they like. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.